smokes! Are you kidding me?
My goodness gracious!
That was spectacular! Unbelievable!
Across the country, sports have ground to a halt because of the coronavirus.
The White House declares a national emergency.
George Floyd was killed in Minneapolis.
Thousands have taken to the streets to demand police accountability.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
A lot of people look at us as just football players. The biggest thing about this is just showing people that we're humans.
SEC's leading rusher Kylan Hill says he's not playing for Mississippi State unless the flag is changed.
Hubbard expressed frustration with head coach Mike Gundy.
We're going to focus on bringing change, and that's the most important thing.
Many of our black players felt like they're not treated the same way as their white teammates.
Everybody needs to get off the bench and make a difference and stand for something.
5 Alabama football players have tested positive for COVID-19.
30 LSU football players are being quarantined.
Clemson University says 23 of its football players have now tested positive for the virus.
Me personally, I got hit by a bus.
Please wear a mask anytime you're around other people.
We are running out of time to get things right.
We need football. The state needs it. This country needs it.
Rashad Bateman opting out of the 2020 college season.
This is the hardest decision I ever had to make.
I cannot ignore what's going on in my heart, and I must make the decision that brings me the most peace.
Ivy League canceling sporting events.
Connecticut has canceled its 2020 football season.
This has not been an easy decision. It is the right decision.
Mountain West is postponing football.
The Big Ten and Pac-12 are canceling fall football.
You don't just wake up the next morning and everything's fine. Not when you invested this much time and effort into it. It's not fine. It's devastating.
"2020, a year that has already taken a massive toll on our country off the football field, and now America's passion is in the crosshairs of COVID-19. Welcome to Inside College Football 2020 Vision, presented by Tums, our first show from our New York studios since the coronavirus sent us home back in March. I'm Adam Zucker, and in this next hour, we'll discuss whether football should be played this fall or even next spring, the many ramifications from the coronavirus, as well as the powerful voice many players have found at a time when more people than ever are listening. First, will there be games? Our Tums Spotlight lays out the 2020 plan for the Power 5 conferences. Much to the dismay of parents, players, and coaches, the Big Ten, less than a week after announcing their schedule, postponed the season with the hopes of playing fall sports in the spring. A decision soon followed by the Pac-12, which canceled all sports through the end of the calendar year. The ACC, with Notre Dame in tow, slated for 10 conference games and 1 non-conference game. Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby said in reference to their medical advisors, "No one told us we shouldn't go forward." So the usual conference round robin begins on September 26th. Positive tests for 9 Oklahoma players reported over the weekend. The SEC has targeted the 26th since announcing their plan to play, with fall camp opening today as their medical panel has approved things one step at a time. They also added 2 extra conference games for a 10-game season, a topic we'll get into a bit later. 3 Power 5 conferences and 3 from the Group of 5. So while the MAC and the Mountain West aim for spring, Conference USA minus Old Dominion, the Sun Belt and the American all with similar plans, 8 conference games and up to 4 non-conference tilts. Among independents, UConn, UMass, and New Mexico State all postponing their seasons. Army and BYU going for it, along with Liberty, whose testing practices have been called into question, namely by Syracuse AD John Wildhack. This as Syracuse players themselves sat out practice with their own concerns. So to play or not to play, that is the complicated question in a year full of unknowns. Our own precautions include having my Inside College Football friends working from home. It's not the same without them here. Brian Jones, Aaron Taylor, Randy Cross, and Rick Neuheisel. Looking forward to the day we can all have those hugs, guys. But in the meantime, school presidents have heard from their medical experts who have treated the same general information in different ways, including the potential for heart damage as a lingering effect of getting coronavirus. Aaron, it seems like a question of how much risk each conference is willing to stomach as the season approaches.